if you're a roamer on Oregon, typically it's either on a solo roam or a duo roam. You have a partner you roam with. Instead of having to do everything by yourself. And I mean, we saw Laxing maneuvering the map on Consulate very well. His roam game was wonderful. He just needed some time to be able to push through and actually maneuver the map and get himself in a position where he could flank an attacker. So I think the defensive side for Cloud9, which they'll be starting on here on Oregon, should look a lot better than it did on Consulate. It's just, again, it's going to come down to that roam game, and if Laxing can get some help, because like you said, you had Foxay on the roam game as well as that Pulse multiple times, Mark as well, maneuvering the map and trying to assist on the roam game, just being cut down. You know, it was Sir Boss on the IQ multiple times taking down Foxay to try to head into Spiral Desk.
Oh, look at this. We have a Thatcher ban. We don't see a mute ban. Now, keep in mind that the changes to the hatch are going to fundamentally alter the relationship between Mute and Hibana on that front hatch. Before, if you put a Mute jammer down on the main hatch, you only need to make sure that one of the 6x Kairos goes off and you've got the front hatch open. Now you need 4 of the 6 to go off. This makes Mute not only much stronger, but this Thatcher ban is going to be enormous. And right away, you see Goddess bringing out the Mute on Laundry Supply Room downstairs. That's a good play.
This looks like a much more prepared strategy. Okay, so Hungary was allowed his Ying to come through the ban phase.
What a surprise, he'll be playing Ying.
Yeah, so we have a shield swapping off. Hungary was sporting the Montaigne for a second, now gonna 6 to the Ying, and Laxing was on the Legion, gonna head to Clash now in the 6-pick phase. But like you're talking about with this muting of the hatch, this looks much more developed. This looks, just without even seeing the preparation phase, it seems like Cloud9 has developed this a little bit deeper and that their Oregon play might be strategically more sound on their fundamentals than Consulate looked in the beginning.
It's also, the Thatcher ban was done by C9, and then they immediately picked Mute. That gives them at least a leg up on their first 5 rounds on defense. But this is aping a strategy that we've seen multiple times from Secret. Team Secret bans Thatcher out. So what happens? Next thing you know, there's a Mute. You force your team to either ban Mute or give the defenders a huge advantage. And right now, this could possibly be pretty big point of frustration, but
5 seconds remaining.
Here's one thing that I see about Mock-it's lineup right now.
Yeah.
There's a Ying, there's a Dokkaebi, there's a Capitao, and there's a Finka. And they're all spawning over in construction. What do you think that means, Rob?
Well, it looked like we were angling for a construction rush, but I think they might take at least tower as their real estate to go, but it's most likely going to be that red and blue push downstairs.
And look at this, already trying to take care of the Maestro. The first phone call goes off within 15 seconds, and what could have been a swift affair as they're just trying to isolate Retro playing on the back stairs, but they will not be able to get the kill. They will all move on empty-handed. What could have been a very brisk take, but still the makings of an easy tower push, even if it's not going to be a construction rush. You also have this shield of Clash that's Laxing. Interesting that they'll take him off a fragging roll and put him on the shield instead. Not that Clash is incapable of fragging, but we don't really know what her position is going to be. Probably not a fragger because she has a shield. That's just my guess.
There's a thought.
There's a thought. And look at this, waiting to see if there's going to be anybody trying to retake backstairs. But Sir Boss is there, he sees the alibi get tossed out. A lot of strange operators being used that we don't see a lot of. The Finka, the Dokkaebi as of late, Ying even has seen her popularity fall off, Mute is in big time, and then an alibi. This is diversity at its finest in terms of operator picks. They're gonna waste an exothermic charge on a soft wall. Foxay just shoots away at it. That is not smart of Mock-it to do that. It's also gonna draw out the position of Foxay, but I mean, it's a soft wall. Just shoot it. Just shoot it with your gun.
Sir Boss spotting the Clash of Laxing that has rotated downstairs, was previously up by bathroom hallway. Gonna head downstairs and just try and be a distraction as much as possible. Frag grenades on Finka. It looked like Panix was thinking about using one of them to break open the meeting hall hatch. Claymore deployed by Hungary to stop any rush in. One frag grenade utilized, and now a second one was attempted to be launched, and it's actually Hungary on the 6-12 on Ying. Ying shoddy, and this is looking like it's going to be the remainder of the rush coming through. The ADS is being burned by the stun grenades. And now frag grenades, Candelas, and I imagine the smoke grenades all going to fall in tandem. as they start to rush through. They're running out of time, though, as they are stalling out a little bit, the Clash being enough of a distraction currently. But here come the Candelas, and everyone on C9 is backed off pretty deep, but it's not going to stop Hungry from rushing through the default. Mark is going to take him down, though. The plant being stopped by the Maestro. It's all falling apart here for Mock-it as C9 is repelling it. Sir Boss at least going to grab one, but the Nitro going to drop Sir Boss. Enemy falls, trying to spray through, but Laxing wins it out with the machine pistol. It's all up to Revan now in a 1v3. Foxay down, going to get secured. 20 seconds left in. Retro looking long down the hallway from Island. Will end it, and Cloud9, a wonderful job on the distraction and stall-out game to make sure Mock-it couldn't run through and acquire the site in seconds.
Very, very smart play by Laxing. I feel like I'm going to say this a lot today. I feel like I've already said it a number of times. Laxing playing his Clash at the main doorway, the moment that the Candelas went off, Laxing pivots, and what does he do? What does Clash do? Slows down the push from the Ying. Without that stun, without that slow, Hungry is in, probably gets, for sure, one kill, probably secures a second. Totally different end result. And that was enormous from Laxing to be able to do that. It looked like we were going to see a Clash there for a second on Foxay. He'll switch off to the castle, going upstairs to kids' dorms and dorms main hall. That'll be interesting to see how he puts down those castle barricades. Castle is not always a staple of that second floor, so interesting to see that get brought out. But how do you repel a quick push like that? Well, I think part of the mistake that Mock-it made was that they took a bit too long to organize themselves. First and foremost, that exothermic charge on the soft wall, probably not the smartest of choice. Then after that, those mute jammers were such a problem for them to deal with. You could tell. They kept going on to drones, kept trying to gain that information. Where are the defenders sitting? You can't do that because those avenues have been cut down by the disruptive forces of the mute jammers. You then put yourself in a situation where you're quite literally going to be going in blind. You toss the Candelas off, and Laxing is there to slow everybody down. A nice arc, the lightning that shoots out, or the slow, the stun, whatever you want to call it, that shoots out from the Clash, completely stopped that push, and then C9 just was able to tear down everybody else who came in, leaving, I believe it was Revan, in a 1v3 that was basically over at that point. So, Cloud9 has learned from the first map how to deal with a possible rush push, and they stopped it this time. Even though the rush came in the 30 to 40 seconds, you don't need to start the round off to have it rush.
No, and I want to give huge props to Mark as well, battling through multiple Candelas being launched at him. Oh, Panic, spotting the reinforcement being completed inside a kitchen, and almost a Pico from Laxing in that Legion behind the fridge. Panic's just missing, gonna make himself a new punch hole again. Barely grazing the side of the helmet, but not on the actual headshot hitbox. So close for Panics to start things off wonderfully for Mock-it as they start to aggress for this west-east take. Trying to get this bottom floor control. They don't have a buck on the board to get completely vertical, but it looks like Cloud9 have done a lot of the job for them with those kill holes and a thermite charge coming out onto the back of Attic. Looks like once again Mock-it want to focus on this tower push.
Sounds like the exothermic charge will actually be successful this time, not bothering to waste it on a soft wall. First kill is going to go to Mark on Panics, the sledge that was entering down through the mess hall in towards kitchen. Hungry playing the 612, not just probably the best Ying in the world, but one of the only Ying players who plays the 612, does it so consistently. And I mean, that's a pretty mean weapon to find yourself having to deal with. It looks like we could be flirting with a quick push yet again. This is a favorite strategy as Asphyxiating Bolt goes down. Right now, Retro is possibly a dead man. And look at this. Both of those explosive rounds from the lifeline will be used to down the smoke, but because there's no point notifications, as I stumble on my words, they're going to have to figure this one out manually that they can get a very easily secured kill here on the smoke.
Bomb located by
Great hold right now from enemy on the tower stairs, keeping Foxay at bay as a run out from the back of tower, or just heading to that T1 window. Looking at the kids' windows could be monstrous for this Mock-it attack. Retro is still bleeding out. The Candelas come in as chaos ensues. They all, no, only one's gonna swing in and secure the kill. It's Sir Boss, diffuser in hand on that Sophia, looking in towards Generator, lighting up the yellow of Goddess. But she'll live to fight another day. More Candelas coming downstairs. The double push in tandem with the Candelas. Revan takes down Goddess, and now the site control firmly in hand of Mock-it. Completely blind. Shotgun is going to eviscerate Mark, but Foxay and Laxing rally with two of their own. Now coming in, Sir Boss is going to end the life of Laxing, and it's all up to Foxay, who was going to go for that flank, and now trying to take down a Claymore at the dining door. Is able to trick it and detonate it, but there's no one repelled remaining. Both attackers upstairs have the site locked down, waiting for the rotations for Fox8. Try and retake site. Coming up white stairs, sprinting up. The red dot extendo barrel UMP takes a lot of damage, reciprocates some in turn, but it's Sir Boss holding the angle from inside of bedroom. Fox8 will fall. A very close round as Cloud9 almost rallied back, but Mock-it able to hold out once again on that aggressive push.
Once you have control of kids' dorms and once you have control of either generator or the big window, so difficult for you to be able to cross and rotate into. This applies to both attackers and defenders. It doesn't necessarily need to be just for one or the other. It makes retaking that site very, very difficult. And we've seen time and time again in 2v4 situations, the defenders just need to hold those two pivotal angles. And when everybody else funnels in, you're just there to greet them. And it's very easy for the defenders to be able to hang on even when they're outnumbered. We just saw the same thing. Of course, it was the attackers holding it, forcing Fox8 to have to retake. And well, I mean, you saw how successful that went. I like these rush strats that we see at a Mock-it, and I think you should change the terminology because it's not really quite a rush strat if it's happening, but it's an all or nothing style of play. It's very similar to what we see out of a lot of Latin America teams where they kind of put all their eggs in one basket, and if it doesn't work, it really, really doesn't work. It's working well for Mock-it so far. I mean, Cloud9 was able to rebuff it on the first round. Not quite so successful this time around, and a big part of that was that you had Retro playing inside of kids' dorms. They burned the ADS, and then using just the damage from the lifeline, they were able to down the smoke as he was caught in a very precarious position.
Yeah, I mean, having the single man hold inside of bedroom, and I mean, you can't really stack more than one person in there. There's just not enough real estate with the number of windows and angles that can be taken upon anyone playing inside of the bedroom, but there should have been at least a little more support. I really like the play, though, of the Ying of Hungary. Instead of following in with Sir Boss, heading through the dorm's windows, heads downstairs, because they had those kill holes in the floor. I talked about C9 ripping up the floor from kitchen to look skyward towards the windows. Instead, heads downstairs and launches the Candelas in to make sure that Sir Boss would be safe while trying to go for that plan. It was clearly something they've practiced before, and they executed it wonderfully.
Exact same strategy rolling out for Mock-it right now. It's going to be a west take as they look to try to consume the same amount of map control that we saw last time, but it's also forced Fox8 to have to try to get out of dodge as well as he can, but he's trapped. He's basically going to have to dare Panics to land this shot, and they know that he's trapped in there. All it takes is one Candela, and Fox8 is a dead man. But if you see Mark is in a position to possibly go for one, Panics almost catches Fox8, but Fox8 manages to escape. You trade Mark the Shark for Fox8. I'd rather have the Jaeger alive than the Castle. That's just me, just based on pure ability to get kills with that carbine of the Jaeger, but Fox8's able to get out of there, only losing about half his health, but you've traded the sledge off, and Fox8's just going to continue to go for the deep rotate as an exothermic charge will go, and that should be some more map control that's gained by Mock-it.
Looks like once again that attic push. Revan very slowly opening up a hole for his drone to pop through. Doesn't want to expose himself by opening the entirety of the big window. Get a drone in place to watch, and he's almost landed on top of the bookshelf, but he'll drop back down onto the floor now. He's just missing the drone parkour, but he'll establish some more control on top of the bunks instead of dorms. And this push from attic, once again, lots of control. Hungary's made it all the way into bathroom hallway without any kind of resistance. Lighting up the floor, possibly a spectator bug there as we weren't able to see the floor being destroyed. Revan still outside as those asphyxiating bolts can really cut off those rotates, and that's really what was the detriment of Cloud9 last time, was their inability to come and retake the site they had lost in dorms. This time, though, thankfully, Retro's still alive. Sir Boss going to take down Laxing, as Goddess is going to retreat from the master hallway and towards dorms. Hungary pressing all the way up white stairs, though. Still a minute remaining, but they have the 4v3 advantage and all the utility in their favor.
All it takes is the generator wall to go, and this is very, very bad for C9. Goddess, who'd rotated into bedroom, is going to be taken care of by Sir Boss, who's just been having one remarkable day. And for a lot of people, this is the first real look they're going to get at him. Retro manages to secure a kill on Revan, but Hungary just causing as much chaos and confusion. That 612 takes 4 shots to kill Retro, but it's going to leave Fox8 last man standing. He does have the pinging from the Valkyrie camera, but he's not a pulse. He's a castle, and he's got impact grenades to try to open things up. He's going to have to retake yet again, except it's not going to be a 2v1 this time. It's going to be a 3v1. And there'll be Hungary there with the shotgun just to take care of Fox8, not allowing him to get back to site. Look at this shot.
Beautiful job there from Hungary on the Ying shotgun. I mean, he's been a monster so far this game. Mock-it looking very, very strong so far. Only through 3 rounds on Oregon. I mean, we said the same thing on Consulate, that Cloud9 looked a little shaky and that Mock-it were running away with it after Cloud9 took the first round. So we're seeing very similar storylines here. The similar thing that happened on Consulate can happen here as well. You know, Cloud9 can come back. They looked like they were able to read into what Mock-it were employing on Consulate until it came to that top floor defense. That's where the real struggle was. But they were able to make changes and adapt their play to become successful against these, like you said, not rush strats, but very aggressive single-minded pushes that Mock-it are employing. Cloud9 was able to adjust later on. It just took them a little bit of time. And I mean, it's only a 2-1. It's just those 2 top floor holds so far from Cloud9 have looked pretty just uncomfortable.
We're going to see both new operators for the first time ever, Maverick and Clash on opposite sides. And I mean, yeah, for C9, this just simply goes back to their anchor play. Their weakest attribute as a team has been their anchor play, their ability to lock down the site. And once they lose map control, or once their roamers go down, they have a lot of difficulty being able to stay vigilant and stop Mock-it's assault on the site. Now, a part of this is because they usually find themselves down numbers. That can either speak to the fact that they're not being able to eat up enough of Mock-it's utility. Maybe Mock-it is being able to take enough map control away in a quicker amount of time than you really want, forcing Mock-it to commit some errors as they run down the clock, or they run out of time on the clock and then try to attack the site. There's a lot of speculation on what's right now ailing Cloud9, but they're going to go back down to Laundry for round number 4, which was the one site they were able to win last time, and it was because Mock-it ran a very interesting composition that once again was that all or nothing, all-in style of play. Looked like, oh, it's a clash. I was, my brain is still not accustomed to just seeing a body there, and I saw the clash rotate, and I was like, what do you do? Oh, you got a shield around you. Okay, cool. So Laxing is going to be a pretty major impediment. They managed to shoot out the wall, so the exothermic charge is not going to be able to work on the wall to try and take out that hatch either. It's a smart play. We've seen that a number of times. Foxay eliminating Sir Boss is the first kill, and I spoke to the anchor play of Cloud9. Well, if you got your roamers doing that sufficient amount of work, good for you. Enemy hot on the trails of Alibi, but instead will shoot it, and Goddess is just positioned. Doesn't know which one it is. Is it the Mute? Is it the Alibi? Who knows, but that's a shotgun kill from the Mute. Panics is gonna get zapped away. This is a really good strategy right now. This is really aggressive from Cloud9. I very much like this. There's only one left, and it's Hungary, but it's gonna be a complete lockout. And wow, a Mock-it's logo on your screen, but I mean, the game is still going. So that's 3-1 in favor of, or 2-2, my apologies. Not 3-1 in favor of Mock-it.
What are you doing, Mock-it? That
was really something. That was more, what are you doing C9, in my opinion.
Really? Because I'm thinking Mock-it just keeps sending one person down a stairwell to battle a shotgun and a high rate of fire SMG at the bottom of those stairs without the hatch open. They have no way to pressure them out. You saw the Maverick try and open up the holes in the hatch. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I mean, they just sent one person down the stairs at a time to die. And I mean, they downed Goddess, but Foxay was there because they had the 2v1 advantage. That just fell apart really quickly for Mock-it. And they wanted to switch up their strategy, obviously, by going for the front lobby take instead of going for that tower take, which they've employed 3 times in a row. So trying to remain dynamic, but you kind of got to work on either clearing out that meeting hall of the Clash and the Jaeger, or at least have someone covering from like kitchen doorway on the main stairs so Foxay can't come up so aggressively. I mean, it just looked like Mock-it were just trying to send one downstairs and get the early site control, but they didn't have the numbers to do like they've done previously.
Yeah. I'm not entirely certain what ailed Mock-it there, but like you said, and then they got really desperate. They brought the Maverick in. He just tried to take care of the hatch, and you had Hungry not even bothering to really pay attention. You got the Clash pulling the shield down. There goes your Maverick. Yeah, not the smartest of strats from Mock-it. It looks like they just got that early loss, and you know, that didn't know how to bounce back from that point onward. But because of this, Cloud9 now has to go to another site as they won both the dorms and the laundry room. Or I guess they could have gone back to dorms, actually. The laundry room's the only site they've won. They're going to go to kitchen instead, so intriguing. Also, Cloud9 running the Clash quite consistently. Clash has not been quite as easily countered. In fact, the 2 times that we really got to see Clash shine in both the laundry room defenses, it really seemed like Mock-it just had no idea what they were up against and knew how to counter it.
Well, it's strange because we've seen frag grenades on Panics been playing a lot of Sledge. We've seen just an absurd amount of Capitao, way higher than the standard from Revan. And Sir Boss bringing the Zofia almost every round on attack except for a few on console where he was playing IQ. I mean, you have all these tools seemingly specifically designed to counter that clash and take her down, but it's never being used in tandem. So maybe that communication we talked about being so strong on Consulate isn't coming through here on Oregon.
No. And here's the clash becoming a major pain for Panics as well. They'll see if they can double up this time around. I also like they've been alternating Foxe and Laxing on it, whereas we've seen a bit more consistency from Mock-it's lineup. Of course, being a bit quiet today have been both Revan and Enemy. They've been relying a lot on Sir Boss and Hungry. Of course, those two are going to get a pretty decent amount of airtime, both being the newer additions to the team, or well, the newest additions to the team, that said. So Mock-it really haven't been able to accomplish much on map control. However, this is one of the rare sites where map control is not necessarily going to aid you that much. Your push is typically going to involve small tower, and that's about it for most of these teams. And Bathroom could possibly be the scene, but one Candela will get burned from Hungry and some drone work being done just to try and maybe drive somebody out that could be playing in there, but it will be in vain, at least for the time being, as we see a rotate from Hungry going towards the main lobby. Laxing playing with the M870 on Jaeger. That is something that you don't see every day, but we'll be playing close quarters in the shower. So that's as good of a use for that shotgun as you could possibly expect.
Time ticking away for Mock-it here to try and get anything going. They're still trying to open up the wall, and now launching the Capitao smokes in. More concussions being caught by the ADS, and now, oh, okay, there we go. Laxing able to take down Sir Boss, the M870, and rushing into small tower. Drops another, the Capitao falls, all three, but the Claymore able to catch Laxing. Still a 2v4, a 1v4, all up to Hungry with a shotgun of his own. He falls to the SMG-11 of Retro and Cloud9, able to take control of this match back.
And that was huge for them. That's exactly what they needed, and once again, they've been looking a lot better at being able to rebuff these fast, aggressive takes that we see from Mock-it. Interestingly, as good as Hungry is with that shotgun, if he had the LMG in that position, he probably walks away with the kills there and still manages to stay alive trying to take that fight at that range. So, I mean, you can't really point your finger at that because he does as well as he does because of his proficiency with the 612 shotgun that Ying has, but yeah, I digress. We now flip sides, and Cloud9 is going to go on to attack. Mock-it will bring a bit more of a standard setup here. Of course, as standard as you can get with Mira being banned. Bring out an Echo. We're likely going to see the castle, but keep in mind with Thatcher banned, mute is incredibly vital when guarding downstairs. So Sir Boss will go from the castle to the mute. That makes an awful lot of sense. What that will do is sacrifice your possible presence in Meeting Hall, which is where you usually see castles set down those castle barricades. Now you're going to probably have to hold Meeting Hall the old-fashioned way, which is when a lot of teams didn't run castle, holding Meeting upstairs and without a Mira in pantry to assist them. So I'd imagine it'll probably be a pretty heavy roam, likely from both Panics and Revan, unless you keep Revan parked on site, but we'll see. Also, Maverick coming out for Cloud9 means that they could possibly have Maverick situate himself in blue while the push goes through the main lobby. A Thermite from Goddess instead of a Hibana means that you can basically split push, if I can use that term, with both of your hard breachers.
Yeah, and I really do like these elevated mute jammers as well, going to help delay the info. We saw the mute jammers being detrimental to Mock-it when Cloud9 were playing downstairs. A lot of stall out there, and this time the elevated mute jammers from Mock-it's side going to be stalling out any kind of drone entry into Meeting from the front lobby area through that double doorway, and it's just going to extend the life of everyone on Mock-it playing inside of Meeting to hold up. It's a good position to be in and a good strategy to hold, but like you said, sacrificing the castle. So while you take away their information, you also lose the ability to feel a little bit safer behind those bulletproof barricades.
Yeah. Already Mark is in, heading towards the kids' dorm side of things, and up to Armory. They can see that there's going to be almost zero control from Mock-it whatsoever on the second floor, which is a bit strange for Oregon. We're used to seeing a lot of presence on every single floor. I refer to it as the 2-1-2 or the 1-2-2, where you keep two defenders down on the main floor, then two in the lobby and one above, or two above and one in the lobby / main floor area. Or even in Meeting Hall, as I suppose you could call it. So that's interesting for Mock-it. So they'll probably keep two bodies, maybe the Mute and the Jaeger inside a Meeting Hall, and then the rest of the investment will be on site. The anchor play, like I said, for Cloud9 had not necessarily been the best, but we'll see how it does for Mock-it. Foxe very narrowly misses the head of Panics as the Jaeger peeks inside a Meeting Hall, using that Oh, I don't know. That's a tight angle to try and hit that mute jammer. And he sees it and they'll get it. So that should be able to free up that hatch, be able to blow them both wide open. So Fox8 using that blowtorch as it's needed. And now just watching from above to see if anybody's going to bother to rotate. That's Sir Boss also surveying that hole. And there will go the wall and the hatch as well.
Very slow round on both sides of the board as everyone's kind of maintaining their control. The map control afforded to Cloud9 being taken, but they're not really pressing for anything more. Laxing looked like he might come in on the T2 windows, and Panics has that Jaeger was coming up the tower stairs. He's going to get droned out by Laxing. Now Laxing going to start to press the issue. Vaults in and going to be coming down this back tower stairs. Less than a minute remaining for Cloud9 to complete this push, and it's still a 5v5, and it looks like they're going to send Laxing solo as the rest of the plant attempts to go down in the front of Laundry. Laxing giving up on that back push. He's going to join the rest of the team. Time still ticking down for Cloud9 as they try to push even deeper in, try and get some smoke cover. ADS is being burnt out by those flash grenades, and now Hungry Me launching the smoke canister in. No SMG-11, he's going pistol and shotgun on the smoke, and he's dumping the canisters now to try and repel Cloud9 for as long as possible. One remaining, 20 seconds to tick down. Gonna let this one expire and use the last one. Leave about 5 seconds on the board, but enemy as the MP5 SD on Echo will remove Retro, Mark gonna trigger it right back, so that's the Echo off the board. Revan drops Fox8 as they all start pressing in for this plant, holding the flank above, and now Mark able to drop Sir Boss, but the flank gets completed by Cloud9. Hungry going for the rotate and Laundry as Revan, I believe, has been downed. Panic's trying to revive inside of hallway, holding from the hatch above. Panic's able to get back up Revan and take down Mark. Frag grenades being launched on the main stairs. It's a 2v3 for Cloud9, but they have the top control. Goddess holding the hatch from the reverse angle. Both gonna peek simultaneously. Goddess gonna shut down Revan. Now they both have the map control on top of the diffuser, but they're gonna have to push up the stairs and take down Goddess. Hungry will fall, now trying to stick the defuse on the stairs. As Panics, he's gonna get off and spray the stairs, drops the buck, but Goddess dropping down once again. A wonderful clutch for Goddess.
Just casually drinks his water, just like it's nothing.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, the stats at DreamHack Austin were a very clutch scenario, and being able to do it usually as a thermite, getting the plant down. We saw it a lot on Bank. I think in DreamHack Austin, she had like 2 or 3 clutches on Bank alone, and yeah, excellent job from them. Just the coverage you need, right? Especially when you've got hatch control, all you need to do is really sit above it, watch it, and make sure that if there's nobody who's going to possibly go for a flank through meeting hall, which isn't what happened, we saw both members of Mock-it pushed simultaneously. Now you've got a Jaeger with the carbine, but you've got the smoke with a pistol. One of those scenarios where the SMG-11, even with the new recoil, probably would excel in that specific scenario. So who knows? I'm not a pro player. I don't get to make these calls.
No.
Hungry is. He gets to make those calls, but very difficult to try and take an engagement with an assault rifle with an ACOG down by the kitchen doorway, which is where Goddess was positioned. When you've got smoke with a shotgun, yeah, it's got pretty decent range on that. That SAS shotgun can really pack a punch, but not really quite from that distance. C9 looking much better than they did on Consulate at any real time, and this is the closest they've come to being able to take a map. They're up 4-2, and they're going to have Mock-it going back down to Laundry. It was a pretty decisive round. Amidst the chaos, the plant going down from Cloud9 with 0 info from Mock-it could just be a scenario where Mock-it didn't have the coordination to be able to say who's watching plant, planting right on the bottom of those main stairs, extremely exposed after they baited out all the smokes from Hungry.
Cloud9 continue the pace, and Mock-it continue to afford the map control so easily for Cloud9 to entry every single round. We could be heading to map number 3, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Border.
That's correct.
Beautiful.
And that would be a fun one. I don't know who I would give the edge to in that regard, because like I said, I feel like I've seen Cloud9 play Border a number of times and have never been convinced that it's one of their stronger maps or one of the maps that are a crown jewel in their map pool. So who knows? But at the same time, whereas we know Mock-it plays quite well, that was the old Mock-it before they added Sir Boss and Hungry to the roster.
Well, I like the extension of the roam game here. It was Revan and Panics, and now Sir Boss as well, all up on the top floor on the roam game here, trying to deny that map control that I just talked about. Cloud9 so aggressively ascertaining very early on in rounds. Fox8 looks like he wants to go for that back push that Laxing attempted the first time around, but the Maverick blowtorch was so instrumental the first time around, attacking downstairs, opening up those holes in the hatch and be able to allow Goddess to break open the classroom wall and the hatch simultaneously. It's going to be needed towards the front. Retro will come over and hold the angle for him as Fox8 rotates back. Oh, he's still going. Walked back down the stairs and came back up. He's indecisive on where he wants to go. No footprints for Retro as all three roamers are playing top floor. Oh, just seeing the body drop at the highway window, and Panic's gonna give away his position, spraying through, but Mark turns and drops Panic through the barricade. A wonderful job by Mark to take down the yellow roaming of Panics. There's still two left in Revan and Sir Boss upstairs. Sir Boss taking a little bit of damage in a firefight earlier as well. And Marklins wants to propel this momentum even further in as he jumps in straight away. Hits an LMI inside a generator, unsure of where to look. And a Revan as he spins will take down Mark to level up man count. But now only 70 seconds remaining. Fox A has made it all the way downstairs into the back of construction hallway.
This push from C9 is very strange, especially what Mark just did there, which was he just broke and pushed into generator, completely blind, not knowing that they had a body over by Armory, and then a body also playing inside of Kid Storms. Not exactly sure why that would be a thing that they would decide to do. Unless they thought that there was only one and Mark could possibly bait him out and it was playing on Armory. I mean, it was also a pretty good strategy because you wouldn't imagine that there would be 3 bodies committed to that second floor, but it was a very top-heavy hold for Mock-it. And like you said, just 30 seconds left. Cloud9 at the moment equalized, and Sir Boss will just be downed by one of Laxing, but Revan is there to trade him off, and Sir Boss still not taken out of the fight. He'd get picked back to life, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Mock-it's actually in a very good position to hold on here. Cloud9 has 3, and Mock-it has a 4, so a 3v4 with the Yokais still in play. Hungry, a great shot with that pistol onto Goddess. She didn't even see that one coming whatsoever. Retro works his way in, but he's going to have to contend with the Toxic Babes. Retro will get a kill, but still, Mock-it right now in good position to just cover on. Fox A stumbles into the site. He's hit by the Yokai. He's got a goo in his foot, and no chance for the Jackal to be able to get a plant down as that clock hits 0. Mock-it just holds on without having to commit bodies to the fight, and they get one closer to equalizing.
A wonderful closeout there by Mock-it on a roam game that we haven't seen from them. They haven't looked like they want to extend deep into either Consulate or Oregon. They haven't tried to hold an area of the map apart from the objective. They've sent out like a solo roamer, most usually Revan, on the Legion. But other than that, I mean, the best we got was maybe a double hold on Yellow Stairs on Consulate. On Oregon, there's been no semblance of a roam game, and the first time they pull it out, I mean, give Mark credit on that turnaround on the highway window, but there were 2 more there to fill the position. Instead of having that solo roam where he would have died and Mark would have grabbed all of that real estate for Cloud9, they have the trade out in place, and it worked out beautiful for them. Even with the flank hold at the front door, with 20 seconds remaining from Cloud9, they had both defenders rotate downstairs to, again, pick up the trade. C9 are expecting these 1v1s based on how Mock-it have been playing, and now with this multi-man roam system, Mock-it look to be in control, at least on their defensive rounds, holding downstairs.
I need to wonder what Cloud9 was thinking, because you had 3 people who were all disjointed, nowhere near one another, what they were trying to make happen. They almost pulled it out at the end, I mean, just based on the fragging potential, but like you said, you like that Mock-it invested in that row. With 3 people upstairs. There are a lot of teams that would read that and just simply attack the site and force Mock-it to have to retake after their anchors are in a 5v2.
Yeah.
That's very difficult for the defenders to be able to catch that and swing back the other way. But I don't think Cloud9 were able to determine that, and I think that's part of why Mark pushed in, because he certainly didn't expect. I mean, he got Panics up top. There might be one more upstairs, who I think he assumed was over by Armory, which is why he was caught looking that direction, but not anticipating that there would also be one playing in Kid Storms. That ended up being their undoing, and then the rest of these different operators, as you mentioned, Fox A was downstairs at that one double door leading to the hallway very early on. I think they were expecting more resistance on site than they got and just couldn't make the adjustment as they needed to. But it doesn't really matter now. Heading into round number 8, Mock-it looking to try to tie things up. They're going to be on defense, and they're going to be defending dorms upstairs. So this will be their first crack at a non-laundry related site. Fox A trying to open up those peepholes just to be able to see all the way into kids' dorms. They'll see one of the goo mines go up in front of them. They'll give away the position that there's likely somebody playing tightly on generator or possibly even on the kids' dorms wall, and that's exactly where the Legion is. So that information is given to him without need of a drone, but he can't get a kill and he'll fall off. I think he reads that correctly.
Again, a little bit more of an extension in the roam game, but not as much as we saw last time coming out from Mock-it. We had enemy playing the main armory stairs and Revan as that Nitro Cell Valkyrie playing off-site over towards Kitchen, and Prep still is over and behind Kitchen and the dining wall currently. Goddess going to open up Generator Wall from Closet, approaching the midway point in the round. This is good for Cloud9 as long as they can hold the flanks. They have to be very careful of enemy though inside of armory, and it looks like Mark has missed him on the drone. No one on Cloud9 aware of enemy's presence inside the armory, and he could absolutely devastate this push from Cloud9 with one simple flank.
Yeah, if they don't know that there's somebody there, the amount of miscues that we've seen just simply based upon clear, such and such area is clear, when it's not actually clear, yeah, that loses you rounds, that loses you games. And especially right now in Mock-it's position, that could be a huge gust for them, given the fact that they're looking to try and equalize, as I said. But 1 minute to go, there's going to be a frenzy. Everybody is still alive, and you got Laxing just inching up white stairs, but panics from above with a kill hole using that SMG-11. Mark does catch enemy, though, so enemy who was not seen will just simply be taken out by flank watch. So you don't necessarily need a drone, and that's a good read from Mark to be able to get that kill. That is very important because that bandit with the MP7, that could have been a major danger if they had just left him sitting there.
Could have continued the flank and gone further, but now it's a 4v4. 30 seconds remaining, and Revan spraying through will take down Fox Face Boss and its Generator. It's a 4v2 advantage just like that for Mock-it. Smoke canisters detonated, the diffuser lost, and Generator trying to push through his mark now is the lone push. He got Retro at the big window. Both C9 attackers separated, trying to get in towards white stairs. He spots the clash, and he's too preoccupied with it. 15 seconds, a wonderful flick, but the Nitro from Revan will save the rest of the Mock-it defense, and now it's just a Blackbeard pushing it alone up against the clash, and two defenders with guns. Pulls out the Deagle, but it's panics to the mattress. Gonna tie things up 4-4 and Mock-it on a comeback.
You're getting zapped by Clash, you got a goo mine in your foot, and you're going up against a shield operator. You're gonna have a bad time. And that was just a 1vx. I have nothing else to do. I might as well go for broke because that shield, just like Montaigne on attack, you don't need to drop the shield at all. And now we have it, a tie. Heading into round number 9 here. We're gonna move to match point because one of these teams has to hit 5. So Mock-it finding, catching fire just as they needed it. Now have now taken 2, but the problem is, due to the rotation, they got to have 1 round on a less than enviable site. We saw that Cloud9 rolled the die on Kitchen when they didn't need to. Well, Mock-it has to go to either rear stage watchtower or the Kitchen bomb site. Rear stage watchtower is where they're going to go.
So we talked pre-game also about what we thought maybe the presence of the new operators in Dreamsky, Clash and Maverick, would bring to the table. And it looks like, if anything, Clash has been a major distraction and a time waster for a lot of pushes. We saw it the first time around employed by Cloud9 in the very first round, Laxing coming downstairs and playing in the hallway as that Clash just being a massive nuisance, slowing everyone down in the push like you talked about. And at the very least, she does seem like she has a lot of utility maneuvering the site and distracting attackers, just drawing their focus in general. The fragging power might not be there. I've played in tandem with another defender, absolutely, but I think the biggest thing is just we haven't seen something like this. I mean, the closest comparable I can think of is like an Echo, just a constant nuisance, always at least disorienting your ability to move freely or focus on the task at hand, and just a massive time waster.
She seems like, as long as, very similar to Montaigne, as long as she's not in a 1v1 situation or a 1v2 situation, very difficult for the attackers to be able to deal with her effectively, especially towards the end of a round. And oh, Retro, so long. You got a Blackbeard, you got a face shield, you got to use it. But enemy's going to get a spawn peek and the Blackbeard gone. Last to die last round, first to die this round. He's going to have 2.5 minutes to sit and think about it.
Well, you talked about it as well, as that Mock-it have to go to one of these off-bomb sites now. They have to go to either tower or dining. They elect to go to tower. It's not the most enviable bomb site to defend on Oregon, but if you start things off, you can really slow down Cloud9. They've gained the momentum in their hand. They've taken a massive operator off the board and a massive player off the board. Like, Retro's been pretty consistent through both of these games so far. Losing the Blackbeard, especially on tower where you need those repels, it's massive for Mock-it to start out that aggressive, that quickly, and that successfully.
So now here we find ourselves in a position where Cloud9, who have already saw their lead just get chipped away at and now have completely slipped away, as they're all tied up, find themselves without a pretty potential fragging machine, and now they'll lose one of their 2 hard breachers. It's Fox-A. Mark will refrag onto Revan, so Revan will immediately get taken out after eliminating Fox-A, but now you've just got the exothermic charge, which, thank goodness it's the thermite that you still have left, because with these nice big walls, especially into attic, thermite is probably the one hard destructor that you want more than anybody. Mark is going to determine that there's somebody playing inside of attic. We know for a fact that it's Sir Boss. He's sitting primed and ready. Goes shotgun in hand, and we'll go for a bit of peekaboo. Mark is there just trying to use the proximity of those concussive blasts to figure out exactly who is playing where. But Sir Boss, very wisely, just sitting and waiting. But he'll pop up. Looked like it was a headshot on the Mark, and that'll prompt Mark to have to go back. But look at this, enemy tries to go for a fight. Mark will pick up his 2nd kill and could possibly get another as he just tries to hit Sir Boss with one of those explosives, but will miss its target. 3v3, so still winnable for Cloud9. They've got about a minute left. The clock is probably going to be more of a nuisance, as well as Panic's now playing up top with those ADSs. That's a very powerful position for him to be in.
Clash of Hungary is going to have to return to site and try and repel this entry from Cloud9 even more. It looks like they're stacking on the north rappel of Big Tower. 5 HP for Goddess, maybe even less. The frag grenade going to be opening up the door and at least attempting to open up the door. Laxing going to have to break it the old-fashioned way. And you still have Panic's topside, 100 HP, waiting for the vault in on the T2 windows. Cloud9 stalling out. There's no real clear entry here. They're all separated as well. This is not looking good for Cloud9 on the entry to stop the run that Mock-it have been on. They now drop down. They'll just go for the T1 plant. Smoke canister from Sir Boss. He's taking a lot of damage. He's going to stall it even longer. Hungry repelling the double push from the Zofia and the Buck of Laxing and Mark. It's going to be up to Goddess to come in on a flank with a shotgun of Sir Boss. Will end Laxing's life. Hungry going to grab another one to Mark. Goddess trades it out. This is the shield gone, but a shotgun close range. Sir Boss going to put it on match point and series point for Mock-it as they continue the snowball.
Great play from the Clash just to be able to read that push and be able to give that information to Sir Boss, who really, it's not that difficult to do cleanup the way he did. You've got an angle, you've got a shotgun, all you need to do is pop around and unload one. You're basically going to kill everything. Center mass, as long as you're hitting center mass that time around. Look at there, say hello to Noble. Hello, Noble.
Hey, boys.
So match point here. Mock-it had the lead in round number 3, lost it after that, regained it just in the right moment, and the best part, they've now done the cycle so they can go back to Laundry. They can't go to dorms just yet, so Laundry is where they're going to go, and they'll show a Clash who has been such a pivotal operator so far. Very, very difficult for teams to deal with, because by the time you usually get to Clash, you've used so much utility elsewhere that the utility that you need to get Clash, your asphyxiating bolts, your frag grenades, your concussive blast from Zofia, you're likely out of them at that time. So teams will either need to be more efficient at being able to get to Clash without burning through all that gadgetry, or maybe you just figure out how to deal with her better. Anyhow, laundry room downstairs, this could be it. We could be in our very final round between these two and see our second 2-0, or well, there could have been another 2-0 in the BYOC, but that's not information that we have currently available. Mock-it, once again, Sir Boss breaking double digits, and what an impact he has been so far on this team. Just absolutely paramount to their success today.
Yeah, it really looks like he's really revitalized Mock-it. I mean, heading into this tournament, like we talked about pregame, they were on a little bit of a spiral, really, not making it out of groups in any major tournament they were playing in, also faltering pretty heavily in EU Pro League in the first half so far this season. And now with this injection of new talent and fragging ability, I mean, both. So Hungary seems to have changed the mindset of the team, and Sir Boss seems to be able to execute quite effectively this new playstyle that Hungary has brought in. I mean, this looks like a tandem made in heaven. It's executing like quite perfectly, but 5-4 game once again. Cloud9 have a chance to push to overtime to at least save this best of 3, or we'll be heading, or we'll be seeing them head to the losers bracket in their group.
Yeah. So it could possibly be a rough day for Cloud9, or we could have overtime, and then at least 3 more rounds to go. Now, for people that are unfamiliar with the setup, overtime functions very similar to the way that it used to, which is that there are 3 rounds. It's a coin toss as to which team defends twice and which team attacks twice. Also, just wanted to say, it's a side note, Emzo and I talked about skins a little bit. I haven't seen that skin that Laxing is running for ages. I think that was a Red Crow, or I think it was a Velvet Shell seasonal skin. It's a beauty. The black with the pink and purple dots. It's really nice. Anyway.
Yeah, it's Velvet Shell. seasonal universal.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's a really nice skin. Anyhow, so 1 minute in, and right now Cloud9's focus is going to still be on the clear. And Mark didn't do the best job of determining who was upstairs last time around. Now, we can see that Revan lying prone inside of kids' dorms is one impediment for Mark as he tries to get in. But look at there, Panix is up 2 to see if he can possibly take care of the Zofia. Almost just missing the head of Mark as he begins to push. He'll see the Legion mine, but they're just going to circle each other. Can Mark be able to land these shots? Revan still has not been checked by Mark. Laxi tossed out a grenade and able to take out Sir Boss. That's the hottest hand on Mock-it. That will be cooled at least for the next minute and a bit. That could be what it takes to push us into overtime all by itself.
Rotate being made now by Mark. He's doing a little bit of self-damage, but needs to rush in and take down Revan. Holding the angle prone inside of the kids' dorms. Now going to place a Claymore on that rotate and press to the front door. 2 Legion mines, and Revan not turning. Simply not hearing the Legion mines going off, presumably. He still has the smoke to deal with of Panix, who was actually backed off and rotated down the main stairs. You also have the default armory cam for now to give the information, as I believe it just got taken down. And also simultaneously dealing with the clash. A wonderful shot from Panix, now looking into Classroom, can't get the second as Retro turns. So the Clash of Hungary will back off. It's up to Enemy and Hungary to hold out in a 2v4. 30 seconds, the hatch and Classroom wall are just being opened up now. So Mock-it have done a good job of wasting a lot of time using one of the concussion blasts on a Yokai, and an immediate drop from Laxing as he's going to rush through, and the Clash is going to light him up and rip him through. Hungary will take down Laxing. It's now down to a 2v3. Smoke canisters coming out. Enemy still has a Yokai in place, but can't see through the smoke. Gonna have to get it in place, but it gets shot as it hits the ceiling. Now Hungary's going to have to press in. That plant's going to be completed just as I say that, and Retro and Fox are going to clean them both up. We'll extend in overtime on Oregon.
A close match, and in the dying seconds, if that Yokai doesn't get shot, you end up with Mock-it winning that round without them not knowing. But the Clash, there you go. That was a good test to see how potent Clash can be. You're in a 2v2. You've essentially got one sitting on the drone of the Echo, then you got the Clash who really can't fire back. There you go. That's how you deal with it. You just have to get to a point where you don't have to worry about a shield. But a couple things on that round. Number one, Revan, asleep at the wheel. What is going on? You're prone, you hear both of the Legion mines go off, you hear the audio cue, you're just staring at a hole that was Claymore down. Did he expect that he was getting pushed from 2? I'm not certain, but it doesn't even matter because Panix wasn't in a position to possibly get it either. So the teammate that he was possibly relying on didn't have his back. That's a bit of a problem. Because of this, you allow Mark to basically walk in, get a free kill. Panix gets one, but then you could see the recoil of the new SMG-11 right in action as it bobbed over top of the head of one of the attackers, and Panix is deprived of a kill that he probably would have gotten a week ago. Overtime between these two teams doesn't really surprise me. And Mock-it's gonna get to defend twice. I mean, both teams won defense 3 times. Both teams won attack twice. By that simple number, I'd rather defend twice, but I mean, who knows? Anything can happen here in overtime, especially with the way that Mock-it just played that, which was probably what I would say their worst defensive round of the 5.
Yeah.
That was the weakest I've seen Mock-it look on defense so far.
100%. I'll also be interested to see if Cloud9 have forgotten about that aggressive play on the attack from Mock-it as well when they swap over. They're currently on the defense. They're going to go upstairs in the defense after losing downstairs in the final round of regulation. Not a bad call in the slightest. They played the top 4 defense quite well. It was actually what propelled them to have to defend tower, which they also won, running the gauntlet of the defensive objective. So Mock-it in a good position here to at least get the advantage in overtime, but they have to go for that attack. And we've seen them on these all-or-nothing strats. Like you said, it's dead even as far as round count on attack and defense. I feel like if they have to go downstairs on the defense next time around, it looks like Cloud9 really have Mock-it figured out on this roam clear now. And you're right, an unfortunate separation of Panix and I think it was Revan inside of kids. Unfortunate separation, but even then, I mean, the roam clear was still wonderful from Cloud9.
Yeah, overall, much better than we've seen from them from before. I mean, it was also noted that Mock-it didn't really have that much of an investment in the roam game early on, and then they changed it. They went very deep into the roam, and now a bit of a split. So we'll see how effective Cloud9's roam can be this time. They've managed to work into the back tower, You can see Fox very close to the Bandit as Enemy does get droned out. Enemy is not having the greatest of days statistically, and nearly almost continues on with that trend as he absorbs about 70 damage, give or take. Maybe 60 damage from Fox, who didn't even know and just fired blind. A grenade gets tossed in, and Hungry will lose a portion of his health, but that shield able to protect him. It actually looked that might have been an impact nade that was tossed in. I'm not certain what the purpose for that was. However, we've eclipsed the halfway mark, and everybody's still alive. Just as I say that, Revan does get found out from Fox. That's the M4 of it's the M4 of Maverick, doing some good work. A pretty nice gun, one with minimal recoil, tons of damage. And Mock-it, who had gained a lot of momentum, lost it in the last round, and now it's really all C9 doing a great job.
What are the defenders inside of dorms doing? Stacked on, literally on top of one another inside of dorms, trying to escape behind a bunk bed. As Retro continues to light in the fire. The Maverick Blowtorch going to open up the ability to take down the Bandit battery on the wall. Goddess going to open up the Generator closet wall with the Thermite exothermic charge. And now looking in towards kids, you have the clash and the smoke of Panics and Hungry. Both stacked. Serboss through the floor will drop Laxing, immediately traded out by Goddess. She presses in. Now heading downstairs. Enemy gonna go for the long rotate, gonna come up the main stairs. Retro still sending a flurry of bullets in through the big window. The plant going down from Goddess. Another toxic bag gonna come out. I don't think Goddess is... No, she's not gonna pull off. She's able to stick it and escape with almost all of her health. Coming up the main stairs, the Bandit of Enemy gonna get found. And now Panic's down. It's just the Clash of Hungry left alone. And he's gonna try and stick this. Fox and Goddess secure their kills. Still sticking it is Hungry. It's still going, but finally Mark will walk in through the main hallway. That got a little too close for comfort for Cloud9, but they will take the first round of overtime and possibly will be able to send us to map number 3 in the next round.
So a nice regain there from C9, and another sloppy round from Mock-it on defense. You had Enemy who was way far off site going for a late rotate. Serboss, I don't know if the call was made that the wall and generator was open or not, but you gotta expect somebody, at least one person is there, especially when there's only a minute left in the round. You've got the clock working against the attackers. They're gonna need to try to push. They were able to take the generator wall. The blowtorch of Maverick might be silent, but an exothermic charge sure as hell isn't. And that whole wall blows wide open with Serboss sitting at the top of White Stairs. Yeah, you probably know. I don't know if there just was a bad call or if he had forgotten or if there was no call made, but Serboss did a good job getting that one kill, if I recall correctly, through the floor, but then as he tried to pivot, not realizing that there was gonna be somebody at generator wall is a pretty easy call to make. He should have known there was someone there, and then everything from that point onward fell apart because C9 was able to commit a body towards the hallway that leads to Master, and then you have somebody playing on generator. The smoke of Panics was not able to get the Toxic Babe down fast enough to start dealing damage to Goddess as she was mid-plant. That also could have possibly been a situation where missed call. You don't know she's planting, you don't know what's going on. I mean, that's why you have the Clash, to help give you that information. C9 is going to go downstairs on their first defense. They're going to do a very similar strategy to we saw last time around, where they shoot out the wall and then go for the hatch. Running the mute, of course, because there's no Thatcher on the board.
10 seconds to go.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, C9 are flawless, 2 for 2 on the downstairs defense. The first round, where it was laxing on the Clash in the main hallway, being that nuisance and stalling out the push and stopping Hungry on that 612 Ying, being able to push through immediately, and then on round number 4, when everyone decided to solo push down the main stairs and do a shotgun. So 2 strategies taken, 2 strategies failed from Mock-it. It looks like they're gonna have to change up their strategy if they want to extend this and end this as fast as possible, because if not, C9 are gonna take it, and we're gonna head to Border.
Yeah, and Border would be an exciting contest between both of these teams. We'd be treated to yet another third map, which is always nice to see. And give you more airtime, of course, as well, which is nice to have you here on the stage and nice of you to join us. A nice Canadian talent joining us at a Canadian event by a Canadian company. Oh my gosh. Sorry, national pride gets a hold of me from time to time. Interesting way to use the Clash up top. If I can just transition back into the game here, overtime match point, and the Clash with what appears to be possibly 2 ADSs at the top of the stairs, that is going to kill a lot of utility. Number 1, you got to burn through the ADSs first, and then number 2, you need to take care of the shield that's there. You can do that with a frag grenade, you can possibly do that with a concussive blast, but you gotta take care of the ADSs first. Retro gets the first kill right off the board as Retro. That's the Maestro gone, but Mark is able to literally drop down and just shred through Panics, and we're back at a 4v4. So we'll equalize. You've traded a Maestro for a Sledge. That's a pretty good win for Mock-it, who managed to lose a fragging operator, but a pretty pivotal anchor for Cloud9 is gone.
Where is the rest of Mock-it? Why is Panic solo pushing into meeting alone with no support? Just seems like you're sacrificing an operator for no reason. He's got no cover, but nonetheless, we're at a 4v4. 80 seconds ticking down against Mock-it to keep Oregon alive. They have the shotgun once again from Hungry to rip open the soft wall. Spray from the red hallway back in towards blue. Not gonna land as he ducks in behind, but Fox able to take down Sir Boss with the help of the Clash. Sprays towards the head, but behind the unbreakable shield of Laxing. He will continue on. Revan with a great reactionary shot onto Mark, pressing for meeting, so they've got it down to a 3v3. Now, once again, Hungry trying to battle with this Clash. Everyone on Mock-it taking shots at the shield, but it's not gonna land. Hungry and try and open up the wall a little bit more.
And the best counter that they have is going to be in those asphyxiating bolts, the fire arrows of the Capitao, who's Revan, who will finally make his way to the back tower, which is what he should have been doing about 20 to 30 seconds ago. He's going to try to clear the way for the rest of his team and go for a pre-fire through the wall, but there's no target there. That asphyxiating bolt will be squandered for the time being, as it's just going to allow him to inch up a little bit. Candela's from Ying will go out. Hungry can begin his assault. Smoke's going in, and now Hungry's just in alone, but nobody there to help him whatsoever. The Clash, once again, doing the same thing as before, but it's C9 shutting it down. Perfect on defense of the laundry and supply room.